Hi, I am Jessica Ardeal with the Professional Healers Institute, and thank you for tuning in to crack the code of your body's intelligence, because today's health expert has done just that in a big way. He is an internationally known best-selling author and the chiropractic holistic physician that brought us the Lifeline technique. Dr. Darren Weissman, hi, thank you for your presence today.
Oh, so grateful. Thank you so much, Jessica.
Yeah, and we are actually neighbors. It's about a 90-minute drive here from the cheese state of Wisconsin to the Lifeline Center in Glenview, Illinois, just outside of Chicago. And you teach and empower people one-on-one and spread peace in countries around the world. So I'm really honored to connect with you because you give individuals that application to apply peace for themselves, and then they can radiate that out in the world around them. So I'm just thrilled for all you do. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Dr. Darren, one of the things I love about the Lifeline technique is that you do incorporate and include many different healing modalities, which I love, because if the same thing worked for everybody across the board, we'd all be healed by now, right? So one of the ways that you individualize that is through the muscle reflex testing. Can you give us some insight into how that does access our body's intelligence?
Yeah, amazing question. I love it. You know, it's an interesting thing to have a dialogue with our body.
Yeah.
Like, hey, body, how you doing? What's going on? It speaks a unique language. And the way that the body communicates in this network of trillions and trillions of cells is through reflexes. Automatic reflexes that are blinking our eyes right now and keeping our heart beating and replicating new cells. There are signals being sent and they're reflexive. And it's either switched on in an active way or the reflexes are reactive and we're in a survival mode. And so muscle testing, kinesiology, is a very simple and practical process to know that difference. Because and the fun part about it, is that we can do this for ourselves, right, let alone for another person, let alone for a group of people, which in and of itself is mind-blowing, especially for someone who's new to this world. Like, it's a Star Trek advanced way of communicating through the lockout or the give way of a muscle. It gives us just an information. It gives us some information based upon intention, thought, awareness. We can then apply that. With the Lifeline, it's very specific in the sense that I simply just want to know, am I speaking with the subconscious mind or not? That's because that's what the Lifeline technique is all about. Make a change on a subconscious level, and you will influence the health of the body. You will influence a person's perception of themselves or a situation, no matter what that situation is. And guided with proper steps, then, as you said from the beginning, it can evoke, even in a moment of massive terror, fear, or anger, peace, which is, in the moment of like this, not really perceivable or even possible to understand when we're in it. But right. MRT, muscle reflex testing, just enables that. And there's a lot of different ways to use muscle reflex testing, obviously, and I've been trained in a lot of them, tons of them, from applied kinesiology and total body modification and neuroemotional technique and contact reflex analysis and Chinese energetic medicine, all these different forms, touch for health, all these different forms of kinesiologically based systems that use a lot of different ways, use a lot of different things. But I'm very clear that MRT, I'll say what it is and then I'll say what it's not a Ouija board. It doesn't tell me what number should I pick for the lotto today. Right. Should I have the chicken or should I have the Cobb salad? I wonder if I should date that girl or that guy. Muscle testing's not about that. Our heart's about that. The wisdom of learning to know ourselves is about that. To me, in a integrous, authentic, genuine way, if I can find something that's triggering the nervous system into a reactive, survival, freeze, fright, fight, or flight way, and then I have something to harmonize that so that I can shift reaction, fear-based patterns to action, love-based experiences, then the body takes over for the rest. And we as human beings become what we have been claimed to be, humankind. We become kind to ourselves and others.
Absolutely. I think that's one of the things for me, Dr. Darren, growing up with muscle testing and utilizing it and experiencing different modalities that incorporate it, is it gets in touch with that deeper level of compassion for others in the world, not just ourselves. So tell me a little bit about your own personal experiences with muscle testing. What was it that really proved the validity to you, so much so that you incorporated it in your own system?
Well, you know, it's you just brought me on a trip in my mind. I have been traveling around the world studying in all different kinds of modalities, studying in Beijing, studying in Sri Lanka, working with acupuncture and working with homeopathy and homeopuncture, things I'm not even allowed to do in the United States. That's not legal for me to do here, but you can do in other countries. And one of my distant cousins, Dr. Steven Cialino, chiropractor, brilliant man, since passed, infinite love and gratitude. He is an AK doctor, applied kinesiology doctor, touch for health doctor, and also a specialist in magnetotherapy and polarity types of work. And he did a really unique form of kinesiology. So I was really lucky. And I say lucky because, you know, when I graduated from chiropractic school, I just knew where I was going to be going. I was going to work with Dr. Steve. And I learned that every muscle and every acupuncture meridian and every sense and every fluid of the body and seasons and motions, all these things were intertwined, and we could read them through muscle reflex testing. Through Dr. Steve, that was the beginning. And but it was interesting because even though I had that background, I got turned on in Belgium by a guy named Dr. Philippe Lancret. I just got back from Sri Lanka. I'm in Belgium. When you're in Belgium, what are you going to do? You're going to eat their chocolate and drink their beer. So I drank their beer and I ate their chocolate. My stomach hurt like hell. And I'm out with some friends, and I'm at Dr. Philippe's house with my buddy, Dr. Tom and Ingrid. And Philippe's looking at me and goes, Darren, you don't look so good. What's going on? I'm like, I got a stomach ache. And I didn't say anything else. I just said I got a stomach ache. He said, come up here. So he brings me into his healing room, and he starts just talking to my body. Starts talking to my body. He goes, oh, you're having a reaction to chocolate. I know maybe everyone can say that in Belgium. But he then held this vial next to me, tapped on parts of my spine, and my stomach felt better. And I was like, holy, that was amazing. And he goes, if you want to really get the core of healing, learn total body modification from Dr. Viktor Frankl, who also since has passed, amazing guy. One of Dr. George Goodhart's Dirty Dozen, who was really the pioneer of kinesiology and applied kinesiology in 1964. So I go with a buddy of mine, Dr. Keith Jordan, to Davenport, Iowa, where Palmer College of Chiropractic is, to go to a TBM training. This guy, Dr. Ron Greenwalt, is teaching. I'm in the front row. I'm excited. And something hilarious happens. It wasn't hilarious at the moment, though. He starts talking. He starts demonstrating. He starts doing things. And I get triggered so deeply. And I go, Keith, this is bullshit. We got to get out of here. This is crazy. I already had experiences. I already had family in it. But it was like touching a truth in me. And a part of me is like, oh, my God. And I'm like, we got to get, and he looks at me like, you are insane. What are you talking about? I'm like, this is bogus. It's witchcraft. I'm out of here. He goes, D, give it a chance. Stay the day. Let's see what happens. Let's practice it. Let's see what happens. So we're practicing. We're doing. And we're in our hotel room at lunch. And we start doing some of the things that we learned in the morning. And I had this moment, and this is the final answer. I'm finally answering your question. I had this moment where I'm like, oh my God, who am I talking to? Who's listening? Why is the body reacting like this? And I was just full body chills. Like, this taps into something that's absolutely sacred. That's absolutely sacred and divine. And I jumped on back in. I became passionate about TBM. Dr. Victor Frank became a second dad to me, followed him everywhere, learned everything that I could from him. And then it just opened up the door to so many other aspects of kinesiology. But that was the moment. And the moment was, and it's similar in my pattern of life, where I'm a skeptic at heart. I am. I wanted to be a medical doctor first. I just also couldn't buy into the fact of a pill for every symptom, but didn't know of anything else, and doors led to others. But that was the defining moment as far as internally having a yes to say something special here, keep on opening the door and questioning this experience. And here I am, 26 years into chiropractic and 17 years into Lifeline, doing amazing stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. And it speaks for itself. It speaks to the heart, right? It gets to the origin of what the body knows. When we talk about body intelligence, emotional intelligence goes hand in hand with that. And our bodies are always recording our life in every moment and every detail. So where do the emotional experiences go? They only have so far from head to toe. And so can you speak to that space that gets cleared up when we get to process stuck emotion?
Yeah. And I would just, you're brilliant, and I love the way you communicate. I really love the way that you consciously use your words. And I would just say something just a little bit different based upon the essence of Lifeline in its own unique jargon.
Yes.
And that is, I'll say what isn't, then I'll say what is. Because sometimes it's easier to understand something by saying what it isn't.
Exactly.
So Lifeline's not about clearing. It's not about healing. It's not about anything being taken away or I unblocked you. It isn't. What is it? It's a system that empowers us to raise our consciousness. Period. The byproduct of someone whose consciousness is in its highest vibration in a particular moment, and that's an important statement, is fundamental to the optimal performance of our cell's natural ability to heal, or our ability to be resilient, or see choices and understand our ability to navigate in any given moment, is directly based upon consciousness. So, that being said, when I see, feel, or hear resistance, and it's easy to, I'm frustrated, I'm sad, I'm overwhelmed, ... Those aren't bad emotions. Those aren't wrong emotions. Those aren't lesser emotions. Those emotions just feel bad and they feel wrong, and we've been told that they're bad and wrong, but they're energy in motion, they're emotion. And so when there is a relationship or a circumstance that triggers a certain type of negativity in our thoughts, or a limitation, or a doubt, or a behavior of isolation, or separation, or self-destruct. When there's a disease, whether it's diagnosed as cancer, or whether it be symptomatology of low energy, poor sleep, weakened immune system, ... Any and all of these are what I like to call the portal, not the problem. The portal to the next greatest version of ourselves. And that's where the emotions are in a repetitious mode and they're repeating themselves. They're not changing. Change is the essence of life. That's the paradox. The one thing we can count on is everything will always change. So when something, it's like, oh, same feeling, different face, different name, same experience in this job, but it's a completely different job. It's like, oh, what, I'm the victim, I'm this, whatever it might be. It's like there's patterns if we look for them. And there's patterns in these symptoms and these stressors on every level. And within these patterns is a memory that is not yet fully processed. And the memory that's not fully processed is emotionally charged. And that memory, I call it the original occurrence, in our life today becomes three very important things. Becomes a lens of perception, misperception, because I'm perceiving as if I'm a 7-year-old little boy in an environment where there's anxiety and overwhelm and money challenges and addiction and da-da-da-da. I have a lens of perception as if I'm still 7. I have a filter where I'm going to feel exactly what I felt at 7, even though I'm 51. And then even further, it seems diabolical, but it's not. It's actually evolutionary. There's a gravity. There's a magnetism where we flip and attract people and circumstances that match the vibration of 7. So we can fight that. We can attempt to fix it. We can attempt to figure it out and talk about it and, do all kinds of things. But the reality is we've got to learn how to unzip the fabric of consciousness, jump on into this in-between space that's invisible, by the way, and reprogram and raise the vibration of this consciousness. Kinesiology, muscle reflex testing, enables us to know that we're actually making that contact with that subconscious memory that's not yet fully processed. So, the nature of processing emotions is very, very, very simple. I mean, it's easy as heck. It's dumb. It's dumb how simple it is. It's not, it just is, it is, but it's not easy until it's easy, simply said, not easily done. And when we're in our emotion, and then that's not easy either because the hurt hurts. But the process is you literally visually see, kinesthetically feel, auditorily hear. And it's when we stay present with our emotions, especially on a subconscious level, with intention and high vibration, infinite love and gratitude, that consciousness raises, and the raising of that consciousness will directly influence our biological and behavioral factors on every level and what we attract on every level. That was a mouthful.
Yeah, no, but what I see visually coming together in my imagination with you sharing that is the neutralization and the update and that stability to keep building and stacking and having that bird's eye view.
Yeah, and you know what? I love that, how you said that, because that's why it's a practice versus a perfect. And in our world today, in our society and culture that says, make it go away, clear it, then I can live happily ever after, where bluebirds sing. And it isn't. Life is going to continue on no matter what. And where am I going to be? Because only I can take responsibility for where I'm at. And if I can look at my body, if I can look at my life curiously, if I can be open to going blank slate, it's a brand new day. What's my intention for today? And have an intention, because, there's going to be pain, fear, and stress. Yeah. Right? But what does it mean to be able to be intentional and then proactive versus reactive? Always going to be reactive, but.
Yeah, exactly. And I think being able to have that muscle testing as a skill allows us to tune into those subtle senses within ourselves and with others too, so that we can navigate things with more precision and fine tune this instrument our body is, so that we can be of service in the highest levels to each other,
Yeah.
right? Yeah. Yeah. What's the number? Go ahead. Go ahead. You have
I was just thinking something. I was just thinking something real quick. You know, within learning muscle reflex testing itself does something special for human beings. And it's a necessary thing. And that is, it takes us from our head into our heart. For us to muscle test effectively, we have to be in our heart. If you're in your head, I think I got it. Nope, you didn't. As soon as I question him, I'm wondering, was that it? Mm-hmm. Nope. So that's why learning it, it's muscle testing simple too, but it's not easy when we're heady. We've got to be hearty. So we got to take that long journey from the head to the heart and feel. And when we're in our body and we're feeling and we're like, it's this instrument that we're playing, then not only is I'm learning this technology of kinesiology and muscle reflex testing is cool, but you've opened your heart. And when you open your heart, you can feel that in itself evokes healing. Another aspect of that is based upon how we apply it. And so in the Lifeline specifically, we learn muscle reflex testing for ourselves. It's a self-mastery process. But others that are like practitioners like you, like, I'm going to take this and have this, to take me to a whole other level of holding a space with another people or a group of people. But the nature of now not only being in your heart, but when we bridge the gap between the conscious and subconscious.
It's where heaven meets earth.
The natural byproduct is we raise our intuition. We naturally become clairaudient, voyant, and sentient. Our psychic ability, our awareness skyrockets. We become superheroes. Our spidey senses are on, and we know things. We're not dependent upon what I'm seeing or what people are saying, or, we know it. Muscle testing does that. It brings us into it. But take that and apply it in a unique process, and then it becomes where we as human beings discover the fullest human potential. Mm. Like, what's the next greatest version of a human being? Planet Earth is beginning. We'll scratch it. I'll just say we're scratching it. We're not quite there yet. We're all learning. We're all students. But, the fullest human potential is available when we bridge this gap.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And to stand in that brilliance of the body and approach it from that place of not knowing, but you tell me, body, you tell me what you need rather than me telling you what I think you need, right? There's that great Karl Kraus quote. But before, I know you're busy. I really appreciate you taking the time to share and be present here. I'm going to ask, what's the number one thing that you want people to know when it comes to the molecules of emotion and the water molecules in our body and how that equation can formulate?
I mean, that is just a wrapped up question. Ultimately what I want people to know is that, we're all valuable and we're all worthy. We're all special. And we all have purpose here on the planet, and to be you and live you and own your power. And if it's hard, it's okay. Life's hard, but it's harder to be living someone else's dream and to be driven by patterns and programs that are not authentically yours. That's way harder. Life's going to be hard no matter what. And, kinesiology is a doorway in. Lifeline is a doorway in to discovering the real you. And the real you is amazing, absolutely special and filled with greatness, a light that's brighter than any star in the infinite universe. And, and that's absolute truth. And anyone who's listening, I know you're feeling it. I do. I know you're feeling it. I struggled with low self-esteem, addiction. My journey has been all about me. My desire to help other people has been to literally save my own life. And, and so once you walk the path, you can lead the path. And so, I know that wherever anyone is at, no matter where, even if we're at the top of our game, life, as we've talked about, is a practice. And begin to create a practice, I call them the essential acts of self-love. Care for yourself, hydrate yourself, eat conscious food, move that beautiful body, get good rest, and be you. Do things that put wind in your sail and move you in a direction that is absolutely authentic. And you're just in this moment, and time just stands still, and you're like,
The sweet spot. Yeah. Dr. Darren Weissman, thank you so much. Infinite love and gratitude to you for sharing your time and taking a stand for the brilliance that we all embody. And before we go, I just have to say, everybody jump on Netflix, go watch Healed documentary. You're featured in that. And I really appreciate you being here and being the peace that people are looking for within themselves, giving them the tools that they need. And how can people reach out? Let us know how to connect with you, Dr. Darren, in the Lifeline Center.
Oh, yeah. You can just go to our website, which is thelifelineCenter.com. It's the and then Lifeline Center, CENTER, rather than the English way, RE. It's ER.com. And you can find how to learn the Lifeline for yourself, which is amazing. Yeah. You can learn how to schedule sessions with a Lifeline practitioner and experience it. And
over the phone too, right? I received some Lifeline sessions over the phone, and speaking to that distance healing piece real quick too, we're talking about the body intelligence, but the distance between and the space between is not a factor, right? We can connect instantly. So if you are feeling that disconnect in your body, the Lifeline technique is definitely one way to reconnect and come back to that feeling of wholeness. So just thank you so much for all you do and offer us to navigate here on Earth.
My absolute pleasure. Thank you so much for being such a bright light. Infinite love and gratitude.
Bye for now.